1,000 miles traveled. It was 2023, and I was in my late 30s when I met my first new girlfriend in years. She had no love for traveling. So even though we'd planned to get engaged the next year, I still chose to embark on a solo journey to China's northwest borderlands that National Day holiday. In the years prior, Western media hype had spawned rumors of unrest in the region. People from China's interior were already wary of the place, their caution rooted in misunderstandings, let alone anyone daring to travel there solo and independently. But I made up my mind, and I went. Right after the train pulled out of the provincial capital and stopped at its first station, one rented a bicycle from a local repair vendor in the small county town. After spending the day exploring the nearby White Sand Lake, I cycled alone for 60 to 70 kilometers north to another county. By the time I finally reached the cheap guest house I just spotted on a map, it was already 2 or 3 hours past dark. I then spent a day and a half wandering the uninhabited, deep-reaching wild poplar forest along a northbound river in that county. The next day, I pressed further north toward the shores of an even larger, nearly deserted lake. Following my own judgment, I ventured near farmlands just outside a local village, hoping to dig up some bao shiguang agate, a rare, polished gemstone native to the region's Gobi deserts. Along the way, a warm-hearted local uncle driving a tractor even waved and greeted me. As it turned out, though, the ground had long been picked clean. No trace of jade remained, no matter how hard I dug. All I found were a few soybean-sized pebbles, fragments chipped off during others' excavations, smoothed round by years of erosion. The speed at which modern society extracts every valuable, marketable resource is beyond your wildest imagination. On my way back from the poplar forest, pushing my bike along, my luck took a turn for the worse. 2 thorns had punctured a long gash in my tire. Still, the elderly bike repairman I met was a genuine, down-to-earth soul. The next day, my fruitless quest as a jade hunter came to an end. I decided to ride straight back to the first county town that very night to return the bike, claim my deposit, and headed to the local train station to catch a train to Altai, the northernmost destination of my trip. So, with cold sweat beading on my forehead, I cycled through the night on a national highway with no street lights, only endless streams of heavy-duty trucks. On my head, I wore a shield-shaped headlamp I'd bought for the trip. It could be worn on the head or hung with a string, and I kept it set to its red flashing mode the entire ride. Time and again, I spotted large trucks approaching from far away. Yet, it seemed that the moment they caught sight of me, they all instinctively switched to their low beams. I couldn't help but think, thanks to the region's traffic safety campaigns, local drivers must be incredibly well-mannered. Their collective, unspoken courtesy and care for cyclists was truly remarkable. They all seemed so afraid that their high beams would blind me and put me in danger. When I finally made it back in the middle of the night, I returned the bike to the empty vendor's stall and hid the key under the corner of the table. It was far too late to contact the elderly vendor, so I resolved to reach out to him the next day. Well, that wicked old man, as I'd come to call him, started beating around the bush the moment I took the initiative to tell him where I'd hidden the key. He tried to weasel out of returning my deposit, and in the end, he actually blocked me on WeChat. I dubbed him the worst man in Fuhai County. It wasn't until years later that I finally figured it out. Those truck drivers, most of whom were from China's interior, hadn't been being courteous to a cyclist. They'd mistaken me for a traffic cop. They were afraid of being caught violating traffic rules and getting fined, not because they were particularly high-minded. So, the most accurate mindset for approaching an unfamiliar place is a combination of first-hand experience and a calm, ordinary attitude. We are all the same. We are all human beings. We all belong to societies composed of humans, and to groups formed by humans. And every one of us has participated in and experienced just such human groups. From a region's level of development to the basic appearance of its towns, can tell you what to expect. Genuine, widespread good manners, where people mind their own business and live in a harmonious, self-sustaining cycle, with no time or inclination to covet or prey on the money of outsiders, only exist in two types of places, either in areas that are completely undeveloped, or in regions where economic development is relatively mature and balanced. Everywhere else, you'll find an inherent, worldly instinct to hunt and exploit. Another thought, if the Mongol armies that struck fear into the hearts of Europeans in the 13th century were the same people as the simple, down-to-earth Mongolian herdsman Marco Polo encountered near the Great Wall during his travels deep into the East, then only one truth emerges. Settled, stable societies will always fear nomadic, mobile ones. If Marco Polo's small caravan had wandered casually near the pastures of the hometown of one of Mongolia's most fearsome Western expeditionary generals, those kinsmen of the great heroes would have regarded these foreign, mobile merchants with the same wariness and caution.